Hey guys, today we're going to be comparing the Peak Design 30-liter travel backpack and the Able Carry Max. Both of these are premium minimal travel bags that have excellent build qualities. I've really enjoyed using both of these, and there's quite a few similarities between the two in my opinion, which can make it tricky to decide which one would be best for you. So in this video I'm going to be talking about those similarities and some of the key differences that might make one better than the other for your particular needs. So hopefully this video is helpful. Before jumping in, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetics, both of the bags have a pretty modern and techy vibe in my opinion. Peak Design bags in particular have a very sleek, modern, and trendy look. The Able Carry bags are fairly minimal, but because of the webbing that's found along the exterior, they just feel a little more rugged and tactical, but it's not overwhelmingly so. Both of the bags are going to be versatile enough to take into a variety of environments, whether you're traveling for work, exploring the outdoors, or just walking around the city. As far as the materials, both of them are very solidly built. The Peak Design bag that I have here is a collaboration that was done with Huckberry, so it has X-Pack fabric, which isn't common on all the Peak Design bags. Those are going to have a little bit of a different Codra fabric, which is still really durable. It has a nice amount of weather resistance. The X-Pack just gives it a little bit more texture and durability and weather resistance. And the Able Carry bags are always offered an X-Pack, so if X-Pack is a really big deal to you, this collaboration is not easy to find, so you might have to go with the Able Carry, but both of them very solidly built. The Able Carry has YKK zippers, which are very well known in the industry. It has an aqua guarded zipper on the laptop compartment. Peak Design uses, I believe, their own proprietary zippers, but they work very smoothly. They never get stuck. They're very well done, and all of them have aqua guarded protection, so it feels like you're gonna have just a little more peace of mind with the zippers on the Peak Design in my opinion. Another nice bonus with the Peak Design zippers is the zipper pulls. They have these loops, which make them very easy to grab and move around, but one of the cool things about Peak Design bags is that they also have this ability to interlock with each other. So if you don't have like a cable lock while you're traveling, this will give a little bit of deterrence to any pickpockets that are trying to get into your bag. And then the Able Carry Max, on the other hand, has a more traditional locking style zipper, so it has the loops where you could thread a lock through them. So, that's probably going to be the most secure, but it is an additional thing that you'll have to carry with you. Continuing along the outside of the bag, both of them have excellent top handles, really comfortable and durable. This is going to be great for just picking the bag up or loading it into an overhead storage compartment or a trunk. The Able Carry Max also has a side handle, similar in style and materials to the one on the top. So if you want to carry it like a briefcase, it's going to work pretty well. The Peak Design bag has a little bit of an advantage here because it has handles on both sides and also on the bottom. So you really have total flexibility with how you're picking the bag up, if you're righty, if you're lefty, if you're loading it. So if you want just a little bit more flexibility there, definitely advantage to the Peak Design. And then as far as attachment points, both bags offer some functionality here. Able Carry, of course, has their A-frame, which they're well known for, that helps the bag keep its shape. When it's a little bit emptier, it prevents it from sagging down, but it is also webbing that you can use to clip on additional accessories. Then you have webbing near the handles, so some functionality there to just clip on additional things that you want to carry. This webbing is very rugged feeling. It doesn't feel like it's going to tear or anything like that. Peak Design has a ton of attachment points all throughout the bag, so you have 2 on the top front, and then on the bottom you have some on the side. And the bag also includes compression straps that you can use to configure in a variety of ways depending on what you want to carry. So if you want to hold a skateboard or a yoga mat on the front, it can do so. If you want to pair it on the side with a tripod, again, it can do so. So really nice flexibility there. Then you can just fully remove them and hide them away if you don't want to use them. They have this magnetic pocket here at the bottom, which doesn't always feel that secure. I usually tend to put them into the water bottle pocket if I'm not using them, but interesting idea there. So you have a little bit more flexibility and functionality with the Peak Design. I do feel like the loops on the Able Carry are a little bit more rugged though. Moving into the sizing, both bags come in at about 30 liters, which is a really interesting size. I've made a whole video talking about bags of this size, which to me is kind of a larger EDC or smaller minimal travel bag. It's in between what I would typically use. So it's a little bit big for EDC, but if you're taller, you need more space for your day-to-day, it could be really useful. It's also a little smaller than what I would use for a longer one bag travel excursion. But if you're a minimal packer, you can fit quite a bit into both of these. So really interesting, versatile size. One note about the Peak Design bag here is that it does have the ability to expand to give you 3-ish more liters. So if you need that extra flexibility, that is not present on the Able Carry, but again, both of these can hold an impressive amount, and they hold their shapes pretty well. So whether they're empty or full, they still, tend to look like they're a little bit more full. They're not super boxy or bulky in my opinion, but that's something that you'll want to keep in mind, is they're not really going to collapse too easily under a tighter spot. But pretty similar capacity overall. You'll notice once we get into the organizational layouts that the Able Carry Max has some additional pocketing and such that eats into the space a little bit. So I do feel like even if it's unexpanded, the Peak Design bag is just going to be able to hold a little bit more, and that's something that you'll need to keep in mind if space is the most important thing to you. While we're on the subject of their shapes, you can see that because both of them hold their shapes pretty well, they actually stand up on their own pretty consistently, even when the bags are a little bit emptier, because the bottom doesn't collapse and it's pretty wide. It's always nice to be able to put these down next to you when you're traveling or at a coffee shop or something, just be able to reach all the pockets and such. Taking a look at the harness systems, both bags have been pretty comfortable to wear. I do think that the Able Carry Max has an advantage here. I'm a big fan of the harnesses on their bags in general. They just have a very robust, comfortable padding on the straps and the back panel, and has a nice level of breathability. It's something I could wear for hours on end without any issue. Whereas the Peak Design bags are, they have harnesses that they work, but they've never been my favorite. The straps are still a little bit on the thinner side, particularly once these are, a little more packed out. They have been improved over the past iterations, but it's still, to me, not quite as comfortable as something like the ones on the Able Carry Max. Same on the back panel, the padding is just not quite as robust or breathable. You do have some elevation, and one of the nice things with the Peak Design bag is you can tuck the straps away. They have this really interesting system on the back panel, which makes it a smooth process if you want to just have a cleaner sort of setup so that you can easily place it into an overhead storage bin. Both of the bags also have a luggage pass-through that will allow you to rest it on a suitcase while traveling to save some weight on your back. Jumping into the organizational options, this is really where you start to see some of the key differences between the two bags. The Peak Design backpack has 2 external water bottle pockets, which I'm always a big fan of. I feel like it just gives you some extra flexibility. These work pretty well. They have a pretty good amount of capacity. Able Carry has a more unique implementation of the water bottle pocket. So they have this compartment that's actually zippered. It does have a gusset, so you can leave it open and use it like a traditional water bottle pocket, but you can also zip it up and just maintain a cleaner overall appearance. One thing that I don't really love as much about this is that if you put a water bottle in there, it does eat up some space from the main area, whereas you don't really have that issue with the Peak Design. But this can also work as just a normal compartment and that's functionality that these compartments just aren't going to be able to offer. On the quick access front, the Peak Design bag keeps things a little bit simpler. You just have one quick access pocket at the top, and this offers a pretty good amount of space for anything that you might be grabbing more regularly, for some bulkier items, some toiletries. You have a little bit of built-in organization, a couple of slip pockets. You have a zippered pocket for anything smaller that you don't want falling out or getting lost. So pretty minimal overall, but this is the type of compartment that I love to have so that I can just toss in things from my pocket while going through TSA. Able Carry has a compartment on the front that kind of serves that same purpose. So this is great, particularly if you're carrying this like a briefcase. You can reach in, grab stuff from this compartment. You can also swing the bag around and access this compartment. It's got some slip pockets on the inside, a little lanyard with a carabiner for your keys, and so nice amount of flexibility there. And then the Able Carry also has an additional small compartment near the side handle. So this is a nice bonus to just kind of have multiple external quick access pockets. That's something I struggle with the Peak Design a little bit. So this one here near the handle, perfect spot for your sunglasses, some headphones, maybe your phone, a portable battery. So nice to have that additional space and flexibility there. Another key difference in the organizational layouts for the two bags is that the Able Carry Max has a separate laptop and tech area, whereas the Peak Design backpack has just kind of one large main compartment that shares all of that. And so that's where This can work depending on your preferences. I always like to have a separate laptop compartment when possible. I feel like it just makes it easier to access my device, particularly while traveling. And it has this zipper. It doesn't go all the way down, but it's got a nice enough opening so you can easily reach in and grab your device. And then you also have a zippered area that's gonna be good for chargers, accessories like a mouse or a portable hard drive. And so it's nice to be able to keep your tech and work stuff separate from sort of your clothing area. But the Peak Design backpack does not have that. So let's take a look at both of the main compartments, which are clamshell style, but even their clamshell implementation is a little bit different. And so opening the Peak Design bag up, first I'll call out the laptop compartment since we just talked about that for the Able Carry Max. This has a laptop compartment that's built into the back portion of the clamshell opening, and it's still a pretty protective sleeve. It's got a lot of space, even for a 15 or 16-inch MacBook Pro. Should be able to fit in there comfortably. It's pulled up a little bit off the bottom. Same with the Able Carry Max. Both of them are, really protective for your tech. But then looking at the clamshell compartments, this has always been an interesting sort of difference with some of the more camera-focused clamshell style bags. So with the Peak Design bag, you place it down on its front face and you have the straps up, whereas on the Able Carry Max, you put it down on the straps on the back, and then you have kind of a more traditional clamshell opening. So both of them function pretty similarly, but I realized that I tend to prefer bags like the Able Carry where I can put the straps down and load everything in. I don't really do a ton of photography, camera gear, and I don't mind my straps getting a little bit dirty. I don't know why that is. I find it easier to access the bag in this fashion. Both can work. Again, you just have big buckets of space that are meant to be organized with packing cubes and all the stuff that you're gonna be traveling with. But just a key difference. One of the things that really stands out to me with that difference is that with the Able Carry Max, there's a couple of zippered pockets on the lid, which I can easily access when I place the bag down. So I put it down, have all my clothing, and then I can get at these compartments. Whereas Peak Design bag has similar zippered pockets we'll take a look at in a second, but when the bag is loaded out, it becomes difficult to access those. You have to take everything out so that you can reach the compartments that are on the bottom. So I've always found that to be a little bit inconvenient. I don't always use those compartments, but if I wanted to, it would become more challenging to use them. So, just some interesting nuances there that if you haven't used a ton of clamshell bags, you might not think of. I'll be curious to hear what your preferences are in the comments below. Again, both of these can work well. On the inside, the bags both offer just a fairly simple, spacious layout. So this is the type of thing that's gonna be perfect for packing cubes and dop kits. So I have the Peak Design dop kit in here right now, which matches up nicely with the backpack. And then the packing cubes, I have the small compressible packing cube and the larger one. And then they both fit pretty similarly into the Able Carry Max. But I don't feel like this leaves as much leftover capacity because you have that separate laptop area. So just a different sort of distribution of space, but both can work quite well. And then on the Peak Design bag, now you can get a better look at this internal layout. You have zippered pockets on the back and on the side. So you have some extra organization once you access this area. And then you also have attachment points all throughout that are meant to integrate with Peak Design's ecosystem of camera accessories. So they have camera cubes and such that'll integrate here in addition to their packing cubes. So as far as which one might be best for you, I think if you are into photography or you need something that's gonna handle your camera gear, if you're in the Peak Design ecosystem in general, or if you want something that's gonna give you a little bit of extra space, both just the standard volume and then the ability to expand. And if you also like having traditional water bottle pockets, Peak Design bag is gonna be probably the one to go with. Whereas if you're looking for a more traditional travel backpack that's also gonna have a separate laptop area and a little bit of a beefier harness system, then the Able Carry Max may be the better option for you. And so that's it. Those are some of the similarities and differences between the Peak Design 30-liter travel backpack and the Able Carry Max. Hopefully this video was helpful, and if you have any questions on the bags that I featured in this video or suggestions for similar bags that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I'll make sure to include links in the description below to the dedicated reviews that I've done for each of these bags, as well as to some of the other similar bags in this category that might be worth checking out. And if you have any requests for similar comparisons that you want me to do in the future, definitely let me know, as I'm always on the lookout for more video ideas. And I want to thank you as always for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.